Whenever anybody says everything happens for a reason, I'm like, okay, listen, you're not the reason everything happens. Sometimes you're the second character. You're not the main character in the whole world. Like, we're all the main character in our lives, but we're not the main. Sometimes we're a supporting character in someone else's story. You need to accept that as well. Like, not everything is all about you.
All right, Heal Squad, we are back for part 2 of our conversation with Chelsea Handler. Be sure to check out part 1, where we talked about her early days, where she just was a hustler from go. We talk about self-awareness therapy, how Jane Fonda helped put things in perspective for her. Today, Chelsea and I are talking about her time at E!, when she thought her career was over, and I ask her a few questions from my new series, What Do You Do When? And we get amazing advice from her. All right, Heal Squad, here we go. We are back. Chelsea, I want to ask you, because you mentioned E! We both were at E! At a different time, I think. You had already left when I got there. But what was your experience like there?
It was a great experience. I mean, it was so stupid and fun. It was like being in a fraternity house. I felt like I was the president of a fraternity, and we just got to make really stupid comedy and laugh our asses off, play practical jokes throughout I mean, every day was just another huge joke. I would go to people's desks and send out emails like to all of the executives at E! From like the line producer that were so inappropriate and so ridiculous. I mean, everything, like if I had that show 10 years later, I would have been canceled or fired for an inappropriate workplace, because that's what that was. We were just, and we had Chewy, and we had Margarita Thursdays, and then we had such huge success. It was so much fun. All these big, huge celebrities started reaching out to us to be like, we want to be on your show, after so many years of you trying to get people like that on the show. So that was really awesome. Plus, I was dating my boss, Ted Harbert, who so that was a little bit like, I was on the show for 7 years. We started dating probably about a year into my relationship. I mean, into my TV show there was when he and I started dating. And then we broke up like 2 years before my show was over. So that was a difficult moment, because, breaking up he was so involved with me. He's the one who brought me to E! And I had a show before Chelsea Lately that he had developed with me. And then when that show didn't do well, he's like, you need a late night talk show. And then we lived together. And so there was that whole element, and it was just a crazy time. I wrote like 3 books over the course of those 7 years, was constantly on tour. I'd leave every Thursday night, fly out, do shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fly back Monday morning, do the show. I just had this insane schedule and this insane hustle. And I'm so glad I did it. But after 7 years, I mean, they call it a 7-year itch because that's what it is. Like Trevor Noah, I believe, did The Daily Show for 7 years. James Corden did his show for 7 years. 7 years is pretty much when you're like, okay, I got this. Like, I need something else. I need a different kind of challenge. But we launched so many people's careers on that show. And that to me is like just one of the things that I'm most proud of, between Fortune Feimster, Joe Coy, Bobby Lee, just so many. Ali Wong was on that show, Kevin Hart, like all of these people were on the round table before they really hit it. And I loved that aspect of it. And I loved the aspect of sharing my light, I loved the fact that I could put on my friends on the round table and we could sit there, shoot the shit and make fun of people. And then I'd interview somebody. I mean, it was just the easiest thing in the world, that job.
Yeah. So when you look back, or when you're in the forward, actually, do you look back? Were you ever nervous that people were going to pull up old emails and try to cancel you? Because those days it was all okay. Now nothing's okay, which is a whole other conversation of, I don't know how you deal with that part nowadays.
I don't mind. Listen, I don't mind new parameters and new rules around things. Like, you only can do better when you know better. And the fact that there is a group of people and groups of people that are offended and are hurt when we refer to them in terms that they don't like, I think is completely understandable and respectable. And like, I feel so competent in what I do and my creative outlets that if you tell me these are the guardrails, there are new rules, no problem. Great. That's just only going to make me a stronger performer. You know what I mean? I'm not allowed to do this, this, and this anymore. No problem. I'm not going to resist that because that's futile. And I think people who complain about political correctness are just lame. Like I just like, why do you want to hurt someone's feelings if you don't have to? Are you not clever enough to make smarter jokes? Like, talk about yourself, make fun of yourself. Like, I feel like that's where the strongest comedy comes from is, first start with you and then work outward. But for any groups of people that feel targeted, I do want to know what they want. I want to hear their feedback. So I'm not one of those people who is like, oh, I can't talk anymore.
That's a really great perspective. I've never heard from anybody. Chelsea, what's the worst thing that ever happened to you?
Oh God, the worst
Aside
thing.
from your brother, obviously, because we know that is technically.
Worst thing that ever happened to me. I mean, I would only have that to say, like, and that, I mean, because it's just, when you say happened to you, it's like, there's been so many disappointments, but with time, you always understand why. Like, you're like, oh, that didn't work out because, like, it's not, whenever anybody says everything happens for a reason, I'm like, okay, listen, you're not the reason everything happens. Sometimes you're the second character. You're not the main character in the whole world. Like, we're all the main character in our lives, but we're not the main. Sometimes we're a supporting character in someone else's story. And you need to accept that as well. Like, not everything is all about you. But in terms of like, the worst thing, I mean, there's a story in the book, and this isn't the worst thing, but this is one of the worst things. There's a story in the book about me bombing at the Montreal Comedy Festival when I was in my late 20s. And that felt at the time like the worst thing that had ever happened, and that my life was over. And I bombed so badly in front of all of the important executives that had come to see me. And I was like the it girl. Like, I was the girl that was supposed to go out there and wow everybody in Montreal. And I was going to come away with some big development deal. And I went up there and ate it hard. Like, it was not, Zach Galifianakis walked me back to my hotel room and was like, you're going to want some time by yourself. Like, I can't help you with this. That was pretty embarrassing. And I just lost my way. Like, I got so hyped up in the hype that I just wasn't grounded. And, that's the key ingredient for me. And I think for everyone is to be grounded. You want to be the tree. You don't want to be the leaf on the tree. You want to be the actual tree, so that no matter what comes my way, like, you're not moving me. But at that time in my life, I didn't have that knowledge or wisdom, and I just fucked up because I was nervous. And once I heard the reaction from the crowd, then that was like, ugh, ugh. And then I started speeding up my words. I was like, I gotta get off stage. I gotta get off stage before I make more of an ass of myself. So that was brutal. And I didn't call my mother or my sisters, whom I call every time something great happens. And I just kind of sat in my hotel room feeling sorry for myself. And then the next night I had another show at the Montreal Comedy Festival. No one came. They were like, no, we gave her shot last night. She's not ready. Devastating, devastating. Then I get home to LA, and my manager at the time, he was like, oh, there's one executive, Grace Wu from NBC, that wasn't at the showcase. She wants to see you perform. So at the time, I called my friend Sam Brown, who was running a show at Luna Park. And he's like, I said, hey, I need to get up on Tuesday. Can you put me up? And he said, yeah, absolutely. And I had Grace Wu coming. She was the only important executive that wasn't in the room that night. And I went up there and I did the same exact set, completely crushed it, because at this point I had nothing to lose. You know what I mean? My confidence was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, it can't get any worse. And I killed it in the best way. And the next day I got a call from Mark Schulman, and he's like, NBC wants to give you $100,000 for your own development deal. And that was a 72-hour span of time. Within 72 hours, my life went from being over, in quotes, to beginning. And I share that story in the book because it's for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're in the entertainment industry. It just matters if you're a human being and you have a huge disappointment. So when I talk about looking out for the rainbows and not missing them, it's like there was a huge rainbow coming my way that I had no idea that was coming my way. And what I thought was the end of my career became the beginning of my career. So it's just like, don't give up ever.
Yeah. I also loved what you said is that you can have a million no's, but you just need one yes. And that was your one yes. And by the way, probably when you look back at all those other outlets that were there, this was the yes that gave you your entire creative freedom. Like
Yeah.
really had your own playground to do whatever you wanted there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget that moment. I'll never forget the feeling because it also serves as a reminder when things aren't going well and it's not like things go well all the time just because you decide to be optimistic and happy. Nobody's can be happy and optimistic all the time. But it's a reminder of when things aren't going well and you don't feel optimistic that those feelings are still there. The optimism and the hope, they're coming back around like a lazy Susan, like it's all moving around. So when you're in the bad stuff, you have to remember the good stuff is coming, it's on its way, it's not going to be like this forever. And the strength that I have on the days when I'm strong, I have access to. So don't forget that that's who you are too. Just because you're feeling like shit today or you're having a pity party today, you have the strength, you have the wisdom. So grab that maybe tomorrow. And be really kind and gentle with yourself because I'm so fucking hard on myself. I'm like, my standards are like above my head. I don't even meet my own standards, but I am so hell bent on people, behaving with like dignity and like, honesty and like all the stuff that people are like, nobody wants honesty all the time.
Yeah, I know. I'm the one that's always honest with people. I'm like, don't come to me if you don't want to know. I'll be really
Right.
nice about how I deliver it, I hope. Although my husband says I don't have good bedside manner, but I'm honest and I respect honesty. That's something that's really, really important to me. And so I would want someone to be honest with me. Doesn't mean it's going to feel good, but I can't operate with anything other than honesty. So if you want me to tell you how that looks, I'm going to tell you it doesn't look great. But that's also my opinion. So at the end of the day, take it or leave it. It's my thought that that's not working for you because I can see the greatness that could be in another way for you.
Right. There you go. I like that.
So okay, you also have had your health journeys, and the Heal Squad, we're all here trying to get better in all areas of life, but especially when it comes to health. And I'd love to know a little bit about your health journey because when you're as hustling and revved as you are, I wonder, what health things have you had to encounter throughout the journey? I know you have the cardiomyopathy. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, I had that in like 2020. That was I don't know what that was. That was like a reaction. Well, I think it may have been a reaction to the vaccine because it was happening to a lot of women. That was kind of like it mimics like what a heart attack would be, but it's not a heart attack. It's kind of like an adrenaline rush. Like I ran on stage in Seattle. I was doing the show and I just felt my heart like I like almost heartburn, but I don't really get heartburn, so I don't know what that is, but that's what they kept comparing it to. And that heals itself. A lot of women after they got the vaccine had this kind of reaction to it. So it's kind of like a punch to the heart. It's like what would happen if you probably did a bunch of cocaine or something. In my case, I healed pretty now. I mean, it was really scary in the moment, but then once I understood what it was and it heals naturally. I mean, my lifestyle it heals naturally and it did heal. But my lifestyle is fucking insane. Like my calendar is insane. My life is insane. It's not manageable. I have like 5 people who are basically acting as my nannies. my housekeeper. I mean, I have shoulder surgery I just had. I mean, I am a fast. I get after it and I pay the price for it. Like, and I'm on all the things that you can be on, the peptides and the anti-aging and the metformin and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I take everything. So I don't know what the fuck's working and what isn't, but I do take, I go hard. And so I have to really take care of myself. I'm really physically fit. I always am. That is the number one most important thing to me. I hate drinking water. I hate water.
Oh my God, my dad does too. That's
I
so
think
weird.
it's so boring. I mean, and now it's like, oh, water is not enough. You have to drink electrolytes. You have to have electrolytes. I'm like, wait, what? Like Brooke Shields just wrote in her book that she had so much water when there was a heat wave in New York that she passed out. She dehydrated herself from drinking too much water. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like everyone's just stuffing water down our throats all the time, everywhere you go. Now you need like 3 liters of water to go to the gym. When I grew up, no one gave me water. I didn't have a glass of water ever. It was milk, Capri Sun if it was a really good day, and maybe some OJ. Like, I don't understand this water fad. And now at like, I'm 49, I'm about to be 50. I'm like, I guess I better start drinking water. I mean, if everyone keeps banging on about it, they're like, no, you need the electrolytes. I'm like, well, can I just snort the electrolytes? Isn't that a quicker way to get there?
God. Wait, are you on metformin because you have diabetes?
No, it's just like anti-aging. It has anti-aging properties, keeps your blood sugar levels down. But I'm on all of these things, that help you kind of perform at a higher level. I'm on planes, like a third of my life is spent on airplanes. So I'm constantly on like immune boosters and vitamin C drips and IV drips and, B12 shots. Like I'm on all of it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get to that in a second. But first, friends, if you're planning a getaway, we have something for you. So whether you're headed to the mountains for a ski trip, like we know Chelsea does, she loves Whistler, one of my favorite places on earth as well, or you're escaping to the beach for some sun, Macy's has everything you need to pack in style for cold weather adventures, bundled up with coats, earmuffs, gloves, and boots from brands like the North Face, UGG, Columbia, and Sorel. And if you're chasing warmer weather, stock up on resort wear, swimsuits, breezy dresses, and sandals from Nike, Adore Me, Mango, and one of my favorites, Free People. Don't forget your travel beauty essentials and the perfect luggage to keep you organized on the go. No matter your destination, Macy's has you covered. And if you need a little inspo, of course, I'm linking all of my travel must-haves in my Macy's wish list. So you can check it out in the podcast description below, or you can shop now at Macy's.com or visit your nearest Macy's store and get ready to travel today. My dad was so funny yesterday. He came to me with earmuffs, and they're the ones that go behind your head and wrap around your ears. And he was trying to put them over. He goes, Martha, why they make this so small? And I go, Dad. And I just I flipped it. I go, I wish I got that on camera. That was cute. So it sounds like you love being insanely busy.
I mean, yes. I mean, if I'm not, like, when I come home, it's jammed because otherwise I'm on vacation. So when I come home, I want to work and bang everything out. And then I want to go away and I don't want anyone contacting me for, sometimes 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes 2 to 3 months. But of course you can't go that long without being in contact with all your peeps, work wise and everything. But the way that I've kind of have it, I've been touring a lot, doing stand-up a lot. I have a new stand-up special coming out March 25th called The Feeling. And that's on Netflix. And then this book, like the way that I've carved this year is going to be pretty busy as my 50th. I figure I may as well blow it out and like make it a big year for my career. And then I think, I'll try to do some acting work because I haven't really ever been focused on acting. It's always been kind of a side gig, and sometimes I want to do it and sometimes it's just not. But this year I just changed agents and I'm like, listen, I'm interested in doing this, and this, and let's get all of this done. And they've been really responsive about it and have brought me some opportunities. And I'm like, okay, let's take 50 as a reset. Like, I know what I'm good at. Let's find out some other things. I'd like to be able to dance. I can't dance. I have no rhythm. And that doesn't matter because there's so many bad dancers out there. But like, I never danced because I'm self-conscious about dancing. And I just just want to dance and not care about, like it's the one thing I'm self-conscious about is my lack of rhythm. I feel like an idiot when I dance.
That's so funny because when I was thinking about you this morning, I'm like, I wonder, you never did Dancing with the Stars.
No.
Have you ever been asked?
Yes.
And you said no.
Yes. I said,
So
I have.
this is your moment. You need to
No,
say
this is not my
yes.
moment. I'm not doing Dancing with the Stars. That's not my
Why?
moment. Because that's not for me. I can't be on a schedule like that and be one of, no, I'm too, I just told you I don't like having anyone telling me what to do.
Okay, but your instructor, if you do take dance, is going to tell you what to
I
do.
know, but then you're in a competition show. Like that is not appealing to me, Dancing with the
Okay.
Stars. Sorry, I know you did it. Didn't you do it?
No, I loved it because I never got to dance. So
Yeah, but
it's, yeah.
you never got to dance. What do you mean growing up?
Well, yeah, when we were growing up, my parents were cleaning nightclubs as janitors, so we went to work with them. So I never got to like go to the dance recital person. My dance recitals were on Dancing with the Stars. My parents came to my dance recitals basically,
Oh,
and they
well,
were
that's
televised.
cute. That's cute, but that's no, I'm not
Yeah.
doing Dancing with the Stars. Yeah.
Okay, well, dancing sounds like fun for you, and I like that you're always trying to grow and try new things because I think that's so important in life is to keep challenging yourself and to try new things.
I love
Um,
the idea though of telling my agents I want to do Dancing with the Stars and seeing what they say. Like, I'm ready. This is it.
I'm dead. I feel like we need to get you in a Christmas movie.
Oh my God. But that's so that would be back to back me on Dancing with the Stars and then a Christmas movie. And then I retire.
I'm dead. So okay, I want to ask you some questions about it's a new series I'm starting called What Do You Do When? Because I
Okay.
know that when shit hits the fan in life, you go to Google and you type in, what do you do when you're fired? Have you ever been fired? You're the boss, so maybe not.
Started from a bunch of waitressing jobs. Yeah, I was fired from every
This is
waitressing
true.
job.
Okay.
But I didn't give a shit about that because I never wanted to be a waitress. I was like, this is a means to an end. So me getting fired from each job would just continue to be one validation after another that I didn't belong in the restaurant industry.
Okay. So, what do you do when you fuck up?
You have to be accountable. You have to say I fucked up to whomever it matters to, um and B, to give yourself grace. I'm much better at this now. Like if I do something that I'm like embarrassed about, like I'm like, okay, it's okay, like you're a human being, you screwed up. There's so much more information that supports that you're a good human rather than this idiot. So we're just going to take this hit. And if you need to apologize to anyone, I'm very good at apologizing now. I used to never apologize. I'd be like, shut up, fuck you. Like I had no introspection. Now of course it's like people just want to hear an apology and have you say you're sorry and mean it, and that's easy. Even when I'm not wrong, I apologize because I'm just like, I'm beyond all of it now. I'm like, fine, if this will make that person feel better, absolutely, I'm so sorry.
Okay. What do you do when someone betrays you?
That's pretty tough. I mean, definitely, if not ending the relationship, definitely confronting that person and talking about it. And if that person doesn't come clean, then the relationship is over.
Have you been betrayed?
Yes. And
And
I've betrayed people, I mean, it works both ways. It's happened to me and I've done it to people and I don't like either end of it.
okay. What do you do when you think you have an addiction?
Read as much as you can about it and talk to as many people as you can about it, or people who have had that experience or who have struggled with addiction. I would talk to those people. But I think addiction is also something that is so specific to each person that the only person that's kind of going to give you that answer is yourself. It's kind of like if there is the question, that's kind of the answer.
Yeah. What do you mean by it's specific to each person? I've never heard that before.
Well, I mean, like addiction for one person it can be like, oh, they can have anorexia nervosa where they're like exercising compulsively each day. And it's like, okay, that is something that helps their nerves, that helps their mind, that helps occupy their time. It's like, is it life threatening? Is it hurting other people? You know what I mean? Like, is it addiction where you're getting wasted every single day and you're yelling and screaming at your family? Like, what kind of addiction you're talking about? And is it taking over your life in a deleterious manner? And is it harmful to others? Because some addictions, like if you have a sugar addiction, that's not really hurting anyone but yourself. And a lot of people need that outlet. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the end of the world.
Okay. What do you do when you hate your job?
You got to get out of there. You got to get out of there. No one is going to look out for you the way that you are going to look out for yourself. And as women, we miss that boat many, many times. We stay in relationships, we stay in jobs, we stay in dynamics that are not working for us because we want to be a team player, a good sport, the cool girl. And that is a mistake. Like, do not continue to be in an environment that makes you unhappy, no matter what.
Have you been in work environments that you've not been happy in? Or work relationships?
Yeah, for sure. Work relationships and work environments too. That I was bored. I didn't feel challenged. I was like, this isn't working. This isn't gelling. My Netflix show, I definitely felt that when I started the talk show portion of it. My documentary series I loved, but when I did the talk show portion, I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like, it wasn't gelling, and definitely work with people where you have to fire people that like aren't getting it. You know what I mean? That you're not on the same page with or same frequency.
What do you do when you have a panic attack?
Breathe. Breathe. Breathing is a very integral for every sort of anxiety induce anything that creates anxiety, fear, escapism. Like, it's just good to always sit down, take a few breaths and like calm down. It's scientific that it works. So anything that's science-based, I'm down with.
All right. Thank you for that. So, did you finish your next ski video?
I have not done my 50th ski video. I am working on figuring out how I'm going to do that, but I'm working on it. It's a big one, so I'm not going to let everybody down.
Do you always ski unclothed?
No, only for my birthday. Only for my birthday videos.
And so the other thing that, because I was never aware of these ski videos until I started doing my research for this episode, and you're skiing with dogs in your arms and on your back. And I'm like, what if you fall and they get smushed? You don't fall.
Right. Well, you have to consider all of those things, but I'm a strong enough skier that I knew I could complete the task if I just set my mind to it. Listen, that's the last ski video. I had Doug on my front, my new dog, Doug, my little Bernice, God rest her soul. She's gone on my back and a baby Bjorn. She was 35 pounds. He was 65 pounds. So I'm skiing with 90 pounds of dog. And my friend's like, where's the margarita? Where's the joint? Because I usually do it with a margarita and a joint. I'm like, margarita and a joint? I'm like, do you fucking see me? I can't hold anything else.
So, okay, then that was another thing because I stopped skiing. My husband was like, do you want a career or do you want to ski? He's like, people all break everything. They break everything and horrible things happen when people ski and you can't be out of work and whatever. So I stopped skiing. Probably a good thing because, I would end up on double black diamonds accidentally and really hurt myself. But drinking and smoking a joint while you're doing it, are you never scared that you're going to get hurt?
No, listen, Maria, I knock on wood, I'm a really capable skier. I have like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Designated? No, devoted. I've devoted probably together 3 full years of skiing, like with a private instructor, like a guide who taught me how to ski. Like, if I put all my time together on the amount of instruction I've gotten skiing, I could be on the US ski team. Like, that's how much effort I train for ski season. I do squats in the morning. Like, I do an abs class. Like, I am all about remaining healthy while I'm skiing. And then only to get an infection in my shoulder. So, But I'm very capable skiing. I'm not like, it's not like I could ski down anything. It's not like I'm going to Alaska and skiing down Haines, Alaska, but I'm a pretty capable skier.
What do you want in this next chapter of your life? You're turning 50. Do you look down the road and say anything other than what you were telling us earlier with your agents? Like, I want to do a little more of this. I want to do a little more of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like a lot. I'd like a less stress. I'd like less world stress, but figuring out a way of that I can be more useful than I feel right now with everything that's going on, just with the environment, with climate. I feel like we all just need to double down on kindness and love, really, really reach out to people. Some people are really, really scared. I'm scared, but I'm not in the line of fire, so to speak. I think right now I just think about, and this isn't really about me turning 50, but it's where we are when I am turning 50. So I just think about how I can be like a light for other people and how I can help people. And I think we can all just really reach out and be kinder and gentler and more compassionate to all the people who are being targeted, and to let people know that like our world is better, more good than bad. There are more people that are kind than are not. And this election didn't represent that, but that is the truth. There are 90 million people who didn't vote. So it's not like the whole world is evil. The whole world is not evil. And I want to make sure that like I'm a representative of like happiness and like kindness.
You miss working in TV every night?
No, I don't. I go to bed at 7:30. Last night I went to bed at 7:30. I mean, keep in mind I'm recuperating from this surgery. But that's what I love about ski life. I get up at 7, I work out for 2 hours to prep for skiing. I'm on the mountain by 9. I have a margarita at 11, a little juice boost. Then I go back out. Then I have après from 3:30 to like 5. I'm in bed by 7:30, and then I do it all over again. I'm like, that's the schedule I like. So I mean,
But would you be able to say no? I don't know if you'd be able to say no if they called you and said, we're going to do a new late night show and you can do anything you want.
I don't think I could be tethered to a studio 5 days a week, quite frankly. I'm too much of a vagabond. I mean, maybe for a short duration of time, like if they allow, when you sign these contracts, as you know, Maria, you're signing up for like 3 to 7 years. You don't usually sign up for like 6. It's at their discretion how long you're going to work for. Mm-hmm. So now that I'm turning 50, I mean, I would do a short run of something, definitely. Like I would love to do a limited series, like an acting thing. But in terms of hosting, I would do a short run, but like, a year or two commitment. But I'm not able to commit to anything for longer than a year or two with regard to relationships or jobs. Like I don't want anything on my slate for too long.
I love it. Well, it sounds like turning 50 is your slate this year, and you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. And guys, the book again is called I'll Have What She's Having, and it is available right now. Chelsea, this was such a fun conversation. I can't wait to finish this. And then I'm going to go back and read all your other books. But I'm also looking forward to your stand-up show. You said that was March
25th. It comes out on Netflix. It's called The Feeling.
We want that feeling.
Yes, you do want that feeling.
All right, friends, I hope you guys enjoyed this 2-part conversation with Chelsea Handler as much as I did. We had some good laughs. We had some great revelations. And if you did enjoy it, please share it with a friend and spread the word. In the meantime, be nice people, make good choices, and be present. Hey, Heal Squad. We have been on quite the journey together, and we're hearing from so many of you just how much this show is helping you heal and get better, and it makes us feel so good. We love, love, love it, and we just ask that you don't keep it to yourself. Spread the message and share the show or your favorite episode with your friends. And if you want to help us even more, you can leave us a 5-star rating and a comment on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and follow us on Instagram at Heal Squad. You can also DM us anytime because we love connecting with you. And finally, you can also join us on Patreon for our monthly live heal events with world-class healers and ad-free episodes exclusive only to Patreon and our Super Heal Squad for as little as $10 a month. So go to patreon.com/Heal Squad to join. Getting better isn't easy, friends, but as I say all the time, it's a whole lot easier if we can do it together. We love you all so much, and we love doing this thing called life with you.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or mariamenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.